A very good morning to one and all. It gives me immense pleasure to extend a heartfelt welcome to each one of you who is present here today. We have gathered here for a truly special event, an event that brings together the guiding forces of our education system. Please join me in welcoming Honorable Chairman Sir Rahul Singh Sir, Honorable Secretary Sir Himanshu Gupta Sir, and Directors Shri Vivek Kumar Singh, Chief Vigilance Officer, Dr. Biswajit Saha, Director Skills Education, Shri Manoj Kumar Srivastava, Director Training, Dr. Pragya, Director Academics, Shri Jaiprakash Chaturvedi Sir, Director Affiliation. Thank you so much for joining us. Your presence here today is a testament to your unwavering commitment to shaping futures. On behalf of Central Board Secondary Education, I warmly welcome you all, and we sincerely thank you for taking out the time to join us for today's session. This event is not just a gathering, but a celebration of ideas and shared goals of empowering students through effective guidance and leadership. As it is a saying, education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. And today, we celebrate the people who make that life meaningful, our principals and counselors. We have gathered here today for a session on CUET. Today's session is designed to offer a comprehensive understanding of CUET 2025, its significance, the latest changes, and what they mean for students and for educators. We are also joined by a team of 3 experts who will guide us through the application process, university-specific requirements, and preparation strategies. So, to mark the commencement of today's event, we shall begin with the traditional lamp lighting ceremony, as it is said that light is a symbol of knowledge, wisdom, and beginnings. It is my honor to now invite our esteemed dignitaries, Honorable Chairman Shri Rahul Singh Sir, Honorable Secretary Shri Himanshu Gupta Sir, and all directors and Chief Vigilance Officer Sir to come forward and light the ceremonial lamp. May this light guide us and illuminate the path towards a meaningful and successful event today. Thank you all for gracing this ceremony with your presence and beginning the event on such a positive note. Let us move forward with the program. To formally inaugurate today's event and share his vision with us, it is my honor to invite Honorable Secretary Shri Himanshu Gupta Sir, CBSE, to deliver the inaugural address. Sir, we are privileged to have you with us. The stage is yours.
Respected Chairperson Shri Rahul Singh Sir, all the directors of the board, CVO, CBSE, all the principals who are present today, we can see a gathering of around 400 to 450 principals who have come from all across Delhi, NCR, and I think from outside also. And lot of principals have come from other cities also. I think it's a very, very important session for all the principals, and we will also be recording it. The idea is that basically there needs to be an understanding in schools itself about various entrance examinations, and CBSE is very concerned that school provides a platform where children are they get to know about the synergy that is there between the syllabus in CUET, in CBSE, and in other exams also. And since CUET is a recent phenomena, it has been started from past 2-3 years. That's why it becomes important that principals get to know about all the choices or combinations that are available, and so that they can guide their students very well on this. I would also like to inform that CBSE is going to do lot of workshops on counseling. It has tied up with iDream Career, Medhavi Professional Services, and we will be roping in lot of experts in providing, in developing lot of material on career counseling also, because we feel that careers are very, very important for students, especially when they come to secondary and senior secondary classes. So it is very important that once you go out from here, all the principals, we expect that they take sessions with their class teachers, with their subject teachers, so that all your subject teachers, apart from the subjects, they get to know about what sort of career choices are there. I still remember when I was DOE and we went to government school, we asked some of the students that what do you want to do. They did not even know that apart from CUET there are other exams also, like Jamia Millia Islamia. Even CUET students 1 year back did not have the knowledge that it is computer based exam. You have to do some mock also. So please try to create, because this is a new phenomena. I mean, a new initiative of the government. So it is very important that principals get to know about each and every aspect of it, so that children are guided properly and they can choose their career wisely. So thank you so much, and I would like to once again thank Chairperson sir for guiding us in taking this initiative forward, and we really look forward to make a comprehensive counseling module. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Moving forward, it is indeed a matter of great privilege for us to be in the presence of a visionary whose leadership has been instrumental in steering educational excellence. I now have the immense honor of inviting Honorable Chairman Sir Shri Rahul Singh Sirji to deliver his thoughts. Sir, we are truly grateful for your presence and look forward to your words of wisdom.
Thank you, Himanshu. I think you have set the context of this entire interaction extremely well. All the directors of CBSE, dear principals and counselors. It's a very important session, although sometimes I feel it is like an exam per exam, exam per exam. So children, it's becoming a bit difficult for children to cope with the various exams, the various dates. Come class 12th and 1 or 2 years hence, children seem to be weighed under the, I would say, pressure of appearing in multiple examinations. All of them are CBTs. Many of them are CBTs or OMR based things. Many children don't have familiarity with it during the school years. Many children may not have the access to resources where they can actually practice on a CBT mode or on a OMR sheet. But now, with the CUET coming in, earlier it was the specialist career options, medicine and engineering, and to an extent law, where children had to appear in specialized examinations. But now even to pursue general education and even a liberal arts education or a generalist science career, most children will be appearing in this entrance examination of this sort, either CUET and probably with time state universities also may either adopt CUET or may come up with alternatives to it. So now that the system is in place, Probably there is no escaping it, and we have to face this reality that there will be an examination even for those children who are going to pursue generalist education, be it commerce, arts, or general science. So in that context, orientation of our students to the CUET, harmonization of the syllabi, at least of CBSE. Ideally, we would like to have a harmonization with all the school boards, but that's a call which NTA also takes. And most likely, it attempts to have a syllabus which is a common factor between all the boards. Then there are the various requirements which universities prescribe. Which subjects are to be cleared for taking admission in which subject and all that. It is still evolving. So it's very important that children be guided and they are able to get capacitated on the various options available, not only in terms of the subjects which they can pursue at the undergraduate level, but probably also about how to go about it. What are the various subject combinations which they can choose to take in the CUET, which can then lead to their desired qualification at the undergraduate level. In addition, how best to prepare, how to practice on the CBT, how to practice on OMR sheets. So I think this session is an attempt. I think Himanshu has been very, very insistent that it should be our job. As always, like a typical bureaucrat, I'm a bit reluctant. I'm more of a status quoist. I would say that, so private schools, they have the resources. They should capacitate their children on their own. But I think Himanshu has a point, be it parenting guidance or counseling, emotional, social resilience, psychosocial inputs. So he has been after my life, कि नहीं sir, ये हमें करना चाहिए. So this is an attempt, it's sort of an exploratory foray into counseling for CUET and how to go about it. I won't be immodest enough to claim that this would be the end of or end all sort of a session, which will give you every input that you may now go back and then impart to your children, which will enable them to crack the CUET or approach the CUET with more or better preparation. But this is a foray, this is an attempt, and I'm sure that we will have more such sessions. I would earnestly request you all to be attentive in today's sessions and also indicate subsequently what else do parents need or children need or schools need. We won't be able to handle all the 30,000 odd schools in this mechanism, but we can put out resources on our website that might assist the schools. So your feedback will also be very sincerely appreciated and desired. I think that's all, and wish you all a very good day and happy results come the next month. और उद्घाटन के लिए आने के लिए इस हॉल के आप सबों का सहृदय धन्यवाद. थैंक यू. जय हिंद. ऑल द बेस्ट.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, with great pleasure, we now move forward to the next segment of our program, a session that brings together knowledge, experience, and practical insights. It is my privilege to introduce the experts who will be leading the session. Please join me in welcoming our esteemed speakers and expert career counselors, Ms. Meenu Arora, Ms. Ojasvi Sharma, and Mr. Thomas John.
So good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for coming here and joining us for this collaborative effort. I can see many familiar and unfamiliar faces. So can we move to the first slide? Oh, okay. So first, I will just give you an overview that what all we are going to cover in today's 2 hours power-packed session. So we will start with, what is new in the CUET, what are the latest changes and the previous norms. Then we will move to the bigger picture about the broad features, important links, important dates and the fee details. And then we will take you through the application step by step and what are the essential documents which you will be guiding your students they should be ready with. Moving to the exam structure, about the exam and the marking scheme, what kind of subjects you can choose for the CUET and for the college admissions, and how to ace the test, which is, I think, very, very important, and every parent, every teacher, every student is worried about it. Then the university insights, we will be talking in detail. And lastly, we will be talking from a student perspective and from a school perspective that what can we do at our own level, to prepare our students for the college. So although all of you are aware of NTA and CUET, but I would like to just give the introduction formally. The Ministry of Education, Government of India, has established the National Testing Agency, NTA, as an independent, autonomous, and self-sustained testing organization for conducting efficient, transparent, and standardized tests in order to assess the competency of individuals for admission to the higher education institution. The mission is to improve basically to equity and quality in education by developing and administering research-based, valid, reliable, efficient assessments. So NTA has been entrusted with the responsibility of conducting the CUET for admission into the undergrad programs for all central universities and the participating universities. We will be talking in detail for the academic session 2025-26. So CUET basically will provide a common platform and equal opportunities to candidates across the country, especially from those coming from rural and the remote areas. And the role of NTA is confined to registration of the candidates, conduct of the test, finalizing the answer key, and preparing and declaring results and hosting the scorecard. A merit list will be prepared by the participating universities. University may conduct individual tests based on or along with the CUET score. And all the admission-related queries, and this is very important, all the admission-related queries will only be addressed by the universities and not by the NTA. And before I move forward, I would like to say one thing. We believe in the immersive learning experience. And to implement that, I would like to tell each one of you that after this power-packed session, at the end, all of you will be undergoing through an assessment. So please keep your ears and eyes open. And only who will pass the assessment, and that can be decided later, will be given a certificate. So please, I need everybody's attention. And please note that these are the important links. So here I would like to emphasize on one thing. Once we Google, CUET, there are many sites which will come up. But I would like to suggest that please go through the credible websites only for the credible information, because there might be a possibility that the other websites have not updated any information. So the best source is these websites only. So first, let's try to discuss that what was the CUET in the last year and what are the new changes. CUET 2024, candidates could select up to 6 subjects, but in the new CUET, now candidates can choose up to 5 subjects. Earlier, it was conducted in the hybrid mode, but now it is exclusively conducted in the online mode. In the last year, CUET students could choose only subjects which they have studied in grade 12, but now they can select any subject regardless of class 12 studies for CUET. Now, when we come down to the college admission and the college requirement may vary. They might want a student only to take up only those subjects which they have studied in grade 12. Ojasvi is going to talk about it in detail. So now the time duration for all the subjects is going to be 60 minutes in comparison to the last year where the time period varied, but now it is a standard time duration of 60 minutes for every subject. Earlier, there used to be optional questions, but now all the 50 questions will be compulsory to be attempted by the child. Last year, 63 subjects were available, and now these are reduced to 37 subjects in totality. Now, the broad features about the CUET. Now, total subjects, as it has been reduced to 37, that means 13 languages, 23 domain-specific subjects, so it has been reduced to 23 domain subjects, and 1 general aptitude test. How to choose all these tests, or just we will talk in detail. As far as the medium of instruction is concerned, that is again 13 Indian languages. The student can choose which exam they would like to give. And in fact, when they're giving exam also, they can shift to the other language just to read. What does that mean? The syllabus is, as far as the language subjects are concerned, the reading comprehension, literary aptitude, and the vocabulary. Domain subjects will be as per NCERT syllabus. Here I would like to point out one thing. For certain subjects, it can be beyond NCERT also. The textbook is there. So for CBSE board exam, they might cut out one chapter or one topic. Like for psychology, it's exactly what is covered in the CBSE board. But for other subjects like physics, history, political science, there can be one chapter or 2-3 topics which are extra apart from the NCERT syllabus, but it's all covered in the textbook. General aptitude tests will consist of GK, reasoning, numerical ability, and the mental ability. As far as number of papers are concerned, a student can choose up to 5 papers, and please remember this is inclusive of the language and the general aptitude test, irrespective of the class 12 subjects, right? So including these 2, he can choose maximum 5 subjects. As far as marking scheme is concerned, every answer gives you 5 marks, but a wrong answer, incorrect answer, there will be a negative marking by -1. So, that is a very important point to be discussed in schools so that you can train the students, how to make a balance between the correct and the incorrect answers. So no guesswork. Mode of exam this time, CUET is going to be totally computer-based. The total questions, there will be 50 questions per paper, right? And 60 minutes per test. Important dates, this is just to give you an idea because now the CUET application deadline is already over, but you can always be prepared. You can always inform your students, the current 12th, for the future, for the next year, that when they should be ready with all the CUET documents and all that. So it is basically in March, so they have to be ready. They have to be vigilant that when the application forms are uploaded on the website. And plus we get the correction window also, and the date of examination is 8th May to 1st June. So the present 12th will still be giving the exam. These are certain fee structure, based on the number of subjects which are selected. And one important thing here, which we will be emphasizing certain points again and again in our presentation, that all this payment has to be made online. So a student cannot say, I don't have a UPI number or credit card or debit card. So, we have to take care of that fact. So let's talk about certain best practices. We will come back again at the school level also. But it's very, very important, to fill up the application in the right manner, that we have the list of universities with the students, beforehand. Because CUET has one kind of guideline, but as far as the university is concerned, university might have a different guideline, different subject requirement. And every university has a different subject requirement. For example, one university might say that if you want to do psychology honors or history honors, you should have psychology, you should have studied psychology and history at the high school level, right? And other university might be okay with any subject, or one particular course might be asking for GATB. So it is very, very important that we should have the university list prepared well before time, and the time can be decided, of course, by the school, and we are going to discuss about it later in detail. And they should go to the university websites and check the information there to have the credible information again, right? And the courses where they want to get admission, because there is a possibility that in the same university, CUET is applicable for some courses and not applicable for the other courses. Maybe for some other course, they have their own entrance test. So it's very, very important to know the university and a broad idea of the courses which you're going to apply, because according to that, you can check your CUET subject. You can decide that which subject combination I can take up so that I have the option open in a few university and for those particular courses. So towards the end, once you have the university list with you, you have the subject list with you, and then you can see based on this, based on my university requirement, which subject should I take up. And then in the entire year, the student can start preparing towards that, because they will have a mindset that I'm going to appear for these subjects in the CUET, and then they can prepare it accordingly. Preparing and arranging the documents to be uploaded, very, very important. And I've seen it, in all these years, when you are guiding students, many a time students say, oh, ma'am, I don't have a photograph. Yehi upload kar do. Acha iska, they click the picture of the document of the mark sheet, with the phone, and they try to upload that. Please don't do that. Please tell your students that they should have a properly scanned document which is readable, legible. That is very, very important. And in CUET, they have separate requirements. What is the size of the document? So one has to go accordingly. So it is best that you save the document beforehand, before you start filling up the application, so that everything is saved on your laptop or desktop. And also for persons with disabilities, in every school I see that there are some students with learning difficulties, dyslexia, dyscalculia, or autism. Whatever exemption is given by CBSE, the same exemption can be given here also. The only thing is, as for 12th boards also, you do give a certificate or an assessment report signed by the medical superintendent of the government hospital, or an assessment done by government hospital, or an assessment done by a psychologist who is RCI certified, but still that assessment needs to be signed by any government hospital medical superintendent. So have all these documents in a scanned form ready as you give to the CBSE. Because here, if you want some kind of exemptions, then dyslexic or learning disabled students, they can get 20 minutes extra for 1 hour. If the paper is for 1 hour, they can get 20 minutes extra. If they need a scribe, then they can always either apply in the NTA, they will give you a scribe, or if you want to bring your own scribe, then there is a form. If you read the CUET brochure, towards the end, there is a form where it says that I would like to bring my own scribe, and you need to give the details of the scribe, okay? And the entire report should be signed and stamped by the school also, the school principal. So as you always do for CBSE, same thing you need to do it here also, and the student will get extra time and the scribe. Another important thing, even if application is filled up, but there are certain criteria which you need to follow when the student is entering the examination hall. So he needs to have the admit card printed on a A4 size paper with self-declaration. This will be available on the NTA website. Secondly, a transparent ballpoint pen. Very important to tell parents as well as students, because they will say, "Arey ma'am, agar ek pen nahi kaam kiya to hum dusra use kar lenge." But no, only one pen is allowed. Photograph should be the same as it was uploaded in the application. So one should not say that, oh, this photograph is available, ma'am, abhi ye upload kar do CUET mein, baad mein main ek aur le lunga. No. So it has to be the same photograph. The photo ID, and one has to make sure, especially if somebody is taking passport, then it should not be have the expiry date. So it should be valid and non-expired, and PAN card, passport, Aadhaar, anything can work here. Of course, the PWD certificate, as I just explained, and in case the student has any medical condition, especially for diabetic, they can carry sugar tablets and fruits, but everything has to be approved by NTA in advance. Okay, and regarding that, one has to reach the center also 2 hours, before this exam starts. Certain things which are not allowed, all of us know as principals and counselors and educators, students have a tendency to go through the notes till the last moment. So they should not carry any book, note, paper, calculator, no electronic pens, no electronics of any kinds. So they should make sure, maybe when they are going, they can take elder brother, uncle, aunt, parents, so that they can give their phone and everything, even smartwatches or normal watch. It's better not to carry. Students will say, oh, I need to look at the time, but it's better not to carry. It's not allowed. And as far as clothing is also concerned, no heavy clothing. It should be very simple attire, decent attire, so that they don't have any problems when they are frisking for any unwanted material. The footwear, again, shoes are not allowed, especially for boys. We have to give this information. So simple slippers, they can go. Food and drink, no water bottle, nothing is allowed inside the examination hall. And of course, no unfair means, because unfair means that you will be debarred from the examination. I don't know for how many years. So these are few do's and don'ts which are very, very important, because when we are talking to students and parents, sometimes they are so worried that they want to carry certain things. And now we will move to the details of CUET 2025 application. And for that, I would like to invite Ojasvi, who has mentored hundreds of students in filling up the CUET application. Ojasvi, over to you.
A very good morning to all of you. Thank you so much for having us here. Thank you so much, Meenu ma'am, for giving such a good overview of the whole CUET process. So from this point onwards, we will be talking about the application process, the things that Meenu ma'am has talked about very briefly. We will be looking into the details of that, about the examination, about the universities and the specific requirements. So it is going to get a little content heavy, so please bear with me there. So the application process, as all of you are aware, the applications are closed for CUET now, but when they were open, that was the application link that students could go to and apply. Now, there is no age requirement as such under CUET. Like CUET says, you can be of any age and you can sit for the exam. But it does mention that if specific universities require certain age limit or are putting in certain age limits, then that has to be taken care of, right? So age requirement, none as such from CUET. Of course, students who have either qualified 12th or were giving exam this year in 2025 for their 12th grade were eligible to sit for the exam or fill the application form. The application process, all the very simplified over here, closed for this year, again reiterating, because I saw a lot of cameras come up and clicking pictures. So the application process, the steps seem simple over here. So registration form, which will help you to generate your application number basically, and your password as well will be generated when you first time register yourself with this basic details and all of that. After the application number is generated and you have your passport, that is when you can click on login and then apply properly for the whole process, for the whole form, and then complete personal detail, educational detail, test preference, exam city, all of that, even subjects, etc. All of that information has to be filled in the application form. Fee payment, Meenu ma'am has already mentioned, it is going to be in online mode only. So if a student or a parent doesn't have those resources yet, they should set those up before filling the form for next year, for that matter. Confirmation page, of course, once you're done with the whole process, you'll be able to download the confirmation page. Now, these are the important documents that have to be submitted as in uploaded as it is in the application form or during the application process. For important documents, you would see that there are not a lot of documents that have to be uploaded. So only your photograph, signature, and if there is a PWD certificate, then in that case these 3 documents have to be uploaded. There are very specific specifications as in about the size of the file, the name of the file as well. And if you'll see in the photograph as well, the photograph has to be on the white background, otherwise the photo gets rejected. It does not get uploaded, right? So of course, I'm sure we know if in case your file is exceeding the size, there are online resources which can help you resize the file. So we can do the resizing there, and renaming a file is something that you can do on your own systems as well. So like I said, for uploading part, there are only 3 documents, 2 and third one if it is applicable to you, signature and photograph. Apart from that, there are some other documents in terms of their numbers that you're going to need. Like you will have to put the identification number of any photo ID proof. So your Aadhaar card, passport, or driving license if the student has that. In that case, you have to put the number of that, and it has to be updated. Because during the exam, when you'll visit the examination center, you'll have to carry this identity proof with you to the exam center, and it should be updated by then. So the whatever ID proof the student is putting in, the identification number of has to be updated. So one ID proof, not to be uploaded, but the number has to be there. 10th and 12th roll numbers will be required. So when the student is sitting to fill the form, they should have their mark sheets handy. Matlab apne 10th or 12th ke mark sheets they should have access to. Just the roll numbers have to be put in, and your schools that you have given your 10th and 12th in, just that. Apart from that, there is one more number or form of identification that's required, which is the APAR ID. So now APAR ID is basically where all your grade points and all your whatever you're doing throughout your academic years will be registered, right? APAR ID can very easily be created on DigiLockers. So anybody, all students can create their APAR ID on DigiLocker. But the APAR ID option was not mandatory in this application form. It wasn't mandatory. It was an optional thing. If you want to, or if you already have, or if you want to make an APAR ID, then you can fill that up, right? So these were the important documents, and for the application process, I hope I was able to make that clear. Okay, moving on to the examination, the exam pattern, the exam, what is it going to be like? Meenu ma'am has mentioned a few points about the exam. There are no optional questions in the exam anymore. Till last year, there were some optional questions. There are no optional questions. 50 questions, all 50 questions have to be answered. Of course, if you know the answer, then that has to be answered. Otherwise, there is negative marking. And 60 minutes to each paper. Now, a lot of times in my experience, when I'm talking to students, something that needs to be reiterated is, as many subjects as you're filling in the CUET form, that many exams you have to sit for. It is not a single exam, कि एक दिन आप गए और आपके सारे exams एक दिन हो गए. There will be multiple exams. So let's say student is filling in, language mein English, general aptitude, mathematics, psychology, etc. There will be a date sheet like, like board exams ki date sheet, and you will get your time and date as slots when you'll have to go in and sit for each of these exams. Each of these exams will consist 50 questions each, and you'll have to sit for all 50 questions. And time will be 60 minutes for all papers, all across. Last year, the time was also different for papers like mathematics and physics. There was some extra time there, but now that's not there anymore, right? And the +5, -1 also, I know we all understand that here, but sometimes I do feel that this is something that needs to be addressed with the students specifically, because with -1, they just think, एक ही marks तो जा रहा है, कर ही देते हैं, क्या पता सही हो जाए. But it actually takes away 6 marks from their overall scores. So that is something that I do like to reiterate when I'm talking to students about CUET. So moving to subjects and what subjects are available. Now the list of subjects has reduced drastically this year. There are no under languages, there are no foreign languages this year, all Indian languages you will see. There are 13 languages, total 37 subjects as options are given, out of which you can pick and choose, of course. 13 languages, 23 subjects in domain are available, and one is the general aptitude test. Now the general aptitude test, of course, is not compulsory, but it is required for certain courses in universities. I'll talk about that in the upcoming slides. So these are the languages that are available now, the 13 languages. As I was saying, as you'd see, there are no foreign languages under this anymore, all 13 Indian languages. And by the way, these are only the 13 mediums जिसमें exam conduct हो रहा है. Starting में we talked about that there are 13 mediums में exam can be, you can pick 13 mediums out of 13 different ones. So yeah, then these are the domain specific subjects. As you would see that there are some if at one glance you might not be able to pinpoint that, but there are certain subjects that are not here anymore, like legal studies is not here, fashion studies is not here, and some other subjects which used to be are not here anymore. Also another interesting thing, I do not know the reason for this, but yes, Sanskrit is a domain subject and not a language. So 325 code Sanskrit is a domain subject now, not under languages. So for these subjects, like let's say if a student wants to study Korean language or Chinese language in any university, or if a student is giving exam to get admission into law courses or wants to give legal studies as a paper, etc. For all of that, general aptitude is what is taking over all of that. So universities for foreign language admissions will accept general aptitude score instead. And similarly for legal, as you would see, entrepreneurship, teaching aptitude, fashion studies, legal studies, tourism, engineering, graphics, these subjects in domain are not available this year. And the foreign languages that are not available under domain this year, under languages this year, all of that will be taken up by general aptitude. All right. So moving on to universities and the overview of universities. Of course, there are a lot of universities under CUET now, and we could not talk about all of them. So we have listed down a few of the Delhi NCR and a few which we think might be key universities into understanding the whole process overall. Now, a few things, please understand. One, CUET, consider it as an exam that you're giving with 12th. So you're giving 12th board, plus you are giving the CUET exam. Giving the CUET exam does not guarantee admission into any of these or any other university. The universities still have their own application processes that have to be done after the CUET exam. So जो DU का अपना application process था, it is still there. It's just that apart from your 12th, it also asks for your CUET scores now. But it's not that कि DU का अपना application नहीं करना होगा या बाकी universities में नहीं करना होगा. So the counselings and the applications will be held independently by each university. So that won't come under CUET. So giving CUET in no way guarantees for any student that they will get admission into said universities. Right? So separate university websites and all of that has to be checked. Apart from these, I just quickly want to talk about, you might have heard or seen that a lot of private universities now are also accepting CUET scores. Right? There are, within Delhi NCR and out of Delhi NCR as well, a lot of universities which are accepting CUET score. Just a few things to keep in mind there. If the private university, say semi-government, let's say IP University around here in Delhi, they do accept CUET score, but they say that they will accept it for the seats that are left. So the universities, private, semi-government universities, which have their own entrance exams as well, will give preference to the students who are giving their entrances first. और उनके entrances में fill हुई हुई seats में से अगर कुछ seats बचती हैं, तो ही वो CUET के results के बाद उन्हें open करेंगे. So it does not guarantee. If a private university has its own exam, I would suggest students and you as well that those forms separately should also be filled, because all these universities have the criteria that CUET के लिए seats end में बची हुई seats open होती हैं. But for central and government universities, for the subjects that we are going to talk about, these specific ones will have CUET as the only factor for them. All right, starting with Delhi University, all the student favorite. So like I said, Delhi University, all courses under Delhi University will be accepted through CUET, except one. I'll talk about that briefly later. So all courses in Delhi University will be through the CUET score. Now, something to note here is, CUET says you can give exam even in the subjects if you have not studied them in 12th. Delhi University does not accept that. Delhi University says, अगर आप CUET में किसी subject में exam दे रहे हैं, the same subjects you should have studied in your 12th boards as well. So your 12th board and your CUET subjects should be parallel. So when Delhi University talks about eligibility criteria or the subjects you can give in CUET, it talks about the same subjects to be having in your 12th as well. Of course, that exempts subjects like general aptitude because we don't have general aptitude as a subject in 12th. Right, so 12th, either appearing for 12th this year, qualified 12th this year, those students can apply from a recognized board, of course. And like I have already mentioned, applying for CUET or giving the CUET exam does not guarantee admissions to Delhi University. DU will have similar own cutoff criteria and this and that and the whole counseling process. The CSAS is the portal later which will be open after the CUET exam for the counseling process and for the rest of the things that DU will take care of, right? All right. So there are some 75 plus courses under Delhi University which accept CUET scores. I have just listed down a few of the interesting ones that I think. So starting with BCom honors, some things that have changed since CUET came into picture. BCom honors, you can go for BCom honors without accountancy as a subject in 12th as well. So you need either mathematics or applied math or accountancy or bookkeeping. Either one of these subjects you need to go for BCom honors in Delhi University. So that is something that's different. Then, of course, all the economics or BMS, BBA, business management related courses still require mathematics and general aptitude. Applied mathematics is also accepted there. So general aptitude, mathematics, applied mathematics, and of course, one language here is something that is required. Similarly, for courses like BLEd or BA, etc. courses, there are either you can take one language, 3 domain, or you can do 2 language and 2 domain subjects as well. So in total, 4 subjects you're giving exam in. Before, I forgot to mention one thing. Meenu ma'am has already mentioned that students can pick up to 5 subjects. So there is a maximum limit. There is 5 subjects that you can pick, but there is no minimum. Student can also pick 1 subject in their CUET exam as well, right? If it is beneficial or not, that depends on what universities are demanding or requiring. Like if you see right now, there is no course in Delhi University that gives admission on just 1 subject in CUET. At least minimum 2 subjects, like in a 5-year integrated journalism, you need at least language and GAT, right? So there is no such availability of just taking 1 subject, but CUET doesn't restrict you that way. If you just want to take 1 subject in CUET, you can do that as well. Then, of course, there is something, the last point, which is the BTech, which is IT and MI, BTech in Information Technology and Mathematical Innovation. It does not ask for physics and chemistry in CUET. It only asks for math, or applied math also works, and language and general aptitude. So these are some out of the 75 plus courses that Delhi University is offering. All right, and this is the ranking list of colleges under Delhi University. The top 10 colleges under DU. Students have this question a lot. So this is the overall ranking, of course. This is not course specific. This is just the overall ranking. All right, moving on to other universities. We come to Jamia. Now, Jamia has a lot of courses and very few courses are under CUET. So these are the only ones that are under CUET actually. And now in Jamia, as you will see, that you can actually give only 1 subject in CUET for Jamia, right? Whereas it was not the same for DU. So Meenu ma'am was also mentioning the same. You have to have a list of universities that you're planning to apply to, and then you have to cross-check. You have to parallelly check what are the requirements for my subject in this university, and then pick and choose your subjects accordingly, right? So yeah, so this is what admissions to or application to Jamia would require in terms of subjects. Then, of course, there is Banaras Hindu University. Under this, earlier, BA LLB at BHU, the law course at BHU, they used to have their own entrance for that. Now they're taking CUET scores for it as well. And in CUET, you just need English and general aptitude to go for that. So that is again. And In BHU, if you'll see, there's something different, which is for BA honors courses. Like in Delhi University, we saw for BA honors courses, you just needed 1 language, 3 domain, or 2 language, 2 domain. But in BHU, you need the general aptitude test. For BA, for geography, pol science, psychology, sociology, etc. Even for BA courses, you have to give the general aptitude exam over here. If you'll see, for the BCom honors in Banaras Hindu University, you do need accountancy as a mandatory subject. Mathematics nahi bhi hoga to chalega. So without maths, you can go here, but without accountancy, you can't. Right? So these are, of course, some of the nitty-gritty, some of the things which we'll talk about this later. I have a slide where you can see the differences of all these universities specifically as well. For not just BHU, for any university that is offering a fine arts or a visual art or any art-related courses, for all of them, separate aptitude tests will be conducted by the university, like a performance-based test separately. So for any of the arts-based and performing or fine art-based courses, there will be separate aptitude tests for that. JNU only offer these courses in undergrad level, and all of the courses are through CUET. And like I had mentioned earlier, for foreign subjects like Korean, German, Russian, Spanish, etc., since you don't have those subjects under CUET, you need to give the general aptitude test here. It can be either English or Hindi as one of the subjects, and then the general aptitude is required. Whereas if you'll see in Ayurveda biology, Sanskrit is one of the domain subjects and not the language subjects, and the rest subjects are required here. And that's 5 subjects already. So see, this is where the dilemma comes in. So you have, if let's say a student wants to do a BSc program, Ayurveda biology in BHU, they have to have Sanskrit, physics, chemistry, let's say biology, and general aptitude. So that's 5 subjects already. But if the same student wants to apply to some BSc programs in DU as well, so for that, English or any one language is also required, which means you cannot take 6th subject. So this is where they have to pick and choose which universities do they want. A lot of universities will get shortlisted this ways also, because certain universities have certain requirements of all 5 subjects, which will remove the other universities out of the picture. This is B.R. Ambedkar University, which is in Delhi. For BBA, Bachelor's of Business Administration, here you do not need mathematics, general aptitude, and English. Whereas in DU, we did see that you do need mathematics to study business management courses. There are certain vocational courses as well, which you can give the general aptitude for. And for BA courses, again, language plus 3 domains, general aptitude, all of these can be given for this. All this information is available on the NTA website. I do suggest that for university-specific eligibility criteria, visiting the official university websites as well. NTA has a university participating list ka link on their portal when you go to the CUET portal. But under that, a lot of times you might see certain courses which are not available from universities' end. So going to the specific university and checking their website for what they're accepting for CUET and what not is very much required here. So I suggest that we do that. DTU. So might come as a surprise, but yes, DTU does offer BBA and economics related courses as well, and it is taking CUET scores for that. And even in DTU for BBA, you do not need mathematics. So the students who have commerce without maths or have humanities subjects can actually give the English and GAT paper and can get into that. Now, when we talk about, I'll come to that. So economics as a subject will require mathematics. So far, wherever we have seen economics, we have seen mathematics attached to that. So we also say that maths is something that you'd need if you're studying eco. And then there are integrated courses like BSc, MSc courses or economics integrated 5-year courses as well, for which the subject domain or specific subject requirement is mentioned over there. All right, this is the Central University of Haryana. And there are certain courses that they also have under CUET. These are the course requirements for that. And as you'll see here as well, there is only 1 subject per each required. So that is also that can be looked at. This is for Central University of Rajasthan. They also have certain BSc courses. physics, computer science, statistics, maths, and these will be the course requirements for those. And this is for Punjab. If you'll see, Punjab has BTech and BA LLB as well under CUET. Yes, there are universities, central as well as private, which are accepting CUET score for their BTech courses as well. Now, this is where the thing that Meenu ma'am was talking about comes in. CUET does allow you to give paper in any of the subjects that you have picked up. But let's say if we talk about Punjab University, they say that you have to do physics, chemistry, mathematics in your physics, maths as compulsory, and then any one subject if you want to take admission in BTech, right? So let's say if I'm a student of humanities and I give physics and mathematics in CUET, I'm good to go, right? Physics and mathematics and any other subject, I'm good to go. But with this, there is an attached eligibility requirement that you have to have PCM in your 12th as well. So 12th board should be in this subject and CUET should be in this subject, then we'll accept it. So these things, certain nuances, that is where we need to focus and that is what we need to take care of, right? This is for Aligarh Muslim University. These are the courses that AMU, Aligarh Muslim University, is accepting. There are certain vocational courses for which English and General Aptitude is acceptable. BA Honours courses, again, English and General Aptitude is acceptable. BSc courses, you need PCB or PCM with English. For statistics, even for geography as well, because this is a BSc in geography. This is AKTU. Earlier, they used to accept the state level exam for their BTech courses. Now, again, for their BTech courses, they are accepting CUET scores, which, if you'll see, physics, chemistry, mathematics, or applied mathematics is also accepted. So the student can also sit for applied mathematics as a subject in CUET. Despite studying PCM in school, because the eligibility criteria, 12th class ka eligibility criteria for AKTU says that you have to have physics, chemistry and maths in school. But CUET mein aap applied maths mein bhi exam de sakte hain. So again, certain things that both ways you'll have to check what is the 12th class eligibility criteria and what is the eligibility criteria for CUET. Similarly, for their pharmacy course, B.Pharm and PharmD courses as well, they are accepting CUET now. They have a hotel management course as well, which again, they are taking admissions through the CUET score, general aptitude and English required for that. And the design courses under this university also only require GAT and English courses. Again, like I said, fine arts, design, performing arts related courses will have separate university exams too, where university will performance-based or will either ask you to draw something, design, etc. So that will be required. Their BB and BMS course also, again, does not ask for mathematics as a subject. Right, and this is Central University of Karnataka. These are the courses that they offer that are under Karnataka University. Most of the courses they are taking general aptitude test for. And then for their BTech, they're asking for physics, chemistry, and mathematics. There are certain specializations under BTech, and they are accepting CUET scores for it, right? Okay. I understand that some students might be giving their CUET exam in 4 subjects. Some students are giving the exam with 3 subjects. Some are giving the exam with 5 subjects. So what is the criteria? How is the university balancing this out? How is the university taking care of this? So the eligibility criteria, the domain subject that is required by the university for any particular subject are the scores that they will check for that subject. So for example, I am a student who has given psychology, sociology, English, math and general aptitude as my test. And I want to get admission in Karnataka University for a BA economics course. They will only check the general aptitude score in that case. So that is how it will become a common denominator for all. So everybody who has given the GAT scores will be checked in that case, right? And again, if you'll see economics here, Karnataka is not asking for mathematics to study economics, BA economics, right? Okay, so all the universities that we have discussed, out of 12 we have discussed, 7 out of those 12 universities fall under top 100 NIRF ranking. So the ranking is right here in front of you. Okay. All right. So this is the these are a few courses, professional courses, some from the science domain, some from other stream agnostic domains. And these are the university specific criteria for these courses. Like I said in the beginning, not all universities are accepting scores of CUET for all of their programs. Like for example, Delhi University does have a BA/BBA type course as well. For that, they're accepting CLAT score and not CUET score. So yes, there is course under DU as well, which does not accept CUET score. For Jamia, for most courses, this is the case. There are very limited courses of Jamia under CUET. Most of their courses, they're either taking their own entrance or they are taking JEE, or for their architecture paper, they'll take NATA, etc. Right? So they will have separate requirement or separate entrance exam for these specific courses. Right? If you'll see in Ambedkar universities, all the available courses in Ambedkar are under CUET only. So the ones mentioned here, out of these two are available, and we have mentioned the subject requirement for that as well. Aligarh Muslim University, although a lot of courses are under CUET, but again, courses like BBA, BTech still require AMU entrance. Even LLB course requires the university-specific entrance, and the psychology course as well. Right? DTU, they do have BTech. Haryana has BTech. They both accept JEE scores. Like I was saying earlier, that it comes down to what universities you are planning to pick. This is something, this sort of a model, you can, if your counselors, you can try with your students as well, for them to list the universities they're interested in, the courses they're interested in, and then you can shortlist the subjects as well. This format you can also use. Something to keep in mind here, like Delhi University for psychology requires domain and language. So why? Either 3 domain 1 language or 2 domain 2 language, right? Whereas for psychology, Central University of Haryana asks for psychology as a subject. DU does not ask you to necessarily give psychology paper in CUET to study that, but Central University of Haryana is asking for that. So that is how you're going to balance out your subjects, which papers you're going to give and which not. Similarly, if you'll see here, BHU, like I had mentioned, for psychology will ask for general aptitude test as well. Now, I'd like to share a case here. This is something that I have faced with one of my students as well. The student has PCB, psychology in school, and of course English. So these are the subjects. She wants to apply to BSc, be able to apply to BSc courses as well. So BSc biology, botany, zoology, etc. But also wants to apply for psychology. And these 3 colleges she was looking at because North India nearby her home, etc. So BHU, Haryana, and DU she was looking at. So to be able to apply to BSc biology, botany, zoology related courses, she has to keep PCB as her subjects, physics, chemistry, biology. CUET mein dena hi padega, so that is logged. English also becomes logged because DU is one of her preference options. So English also becomes logged. That's 4 subjects, right? Now, DU के लिए तो यहाँ पर sort हो गया because DU will accept 1 language and 3 domain for psychology as well. So your 3 domains will become PCB and then your English as a subject. But if you want to apply to BHU and Haryana as well, there is only an option to pick 1 more subject. But BHU for psychology will ask for general aptitude. Haryana for psychology will ask for psychology as a subject. So the student automatically has to drop 1 college out of their list, right? That is what I said. A lot of shortlisting will be done at this stage also when you sit down and start picking your subjects too, right? So yeah, I hope I was able to clarify that. And yeah, I will hand it over to John now to take this discussion further. Thank you.
My piece is largely about the student's perspective. I believe Ojasvi has given you a couple of examples of how we deal with students who are confused about the CUET application process. And as you might have already figured out, it's a fairly complicated process. So I'd like to share a few student perspectives on what are the few challenges that they faced. So while of course there is overlapping syllabus, there are certain elements that are not covered in the NCERT books, but are there in the CUET syllabus as well. You might want to redirect towards the political science, the history, and the chemistry textbooks for the elements that are missing. Also, as per students, what they've always told me, and I'll quote, the foundational areas are the same. NCERT books can be relied on that. However, the CUET exam also assesses for critical thinking, analysis, application skills also, right? So it goes beyond factual recall on the CUET paper. And in case if there is any confusion about which parts are not covered in the NCERT books that are there in the CUET exam, you might want to look at the CUET PDF for the syllabus as well. And that will give you a clear direction as to how to prepare for both. There is a limited preparation window. There is a huge misconception about preparing for CUET after your board exams are over. Most of the students we spoke to who are successful in clearing the CUET exams have one thing in common. They start preparing from grade 11. So it's always a good idea to start preparing from grade 11. It gives you a lot more time. It gives you a lot more abilities to manage various entrance exams. While students do complain to us a lot that why are you taking so many exams, it will give them a lot of time management skills if they start early. Post-board exam, students themselves have told us that, sir, we get a little more relaxed. It's very difficult to get back to textbooks after board exams are over. So it might be a good idea to start off early. Managing stress and health during dual preparation will come up as an issue which has to be dealt with at the school level, at the parental level as well. Parents become very critical in the emotional support process for this now. And of course, there is a challenge in getting access to quality study resources for CUET. But a lot of the materials are already there on the NCERT website. You will also find a lot of reading materials on the CUET NTA website as well. So a lot of students are not aware of it, which is why they head to different websites, collect information, and some of those information might be outdated. So these are a few of the challenges that they shared. And of course, some of the tips that students themselves have shared with us is one is please practice speed reading and comprehension. Use stopwatches when you're preparing or practicing any entrance exam, whether it's CUET or not. Always look at the sample papers from the previous years. That will give you a good foundational element as to how to prepare. Be consistent. Ensure there is a timetable that the students follow regularly for their preparation. Adapt to the computer-based test because a lot of students might not be aware of how to do this effectively. Create subject-specific study plans, which anyway they should be doing for their board exams as well. Implement stress management techniques, and a lot of the students we spoke to said that a lot of the inputs they got from school, from the guidance counselor, was very useful at this stage. Use technology for preparation. Textbooks are not the only way to learn. I'm sure every one of us here would agree. You have to go beyond textbooks. You have to talk to students who have cleared the exams before, get some inputs, and of course, conduct as many sessions to inform students about CUET as much as possible. And of course, focus on analytical and logical reasoning beyond factual recall, which is very, very critical for CUET. And of course, stay updated with current affairs because general knowledge is probably the largest syllabus that you can look at in the general aptitude test paper. So again, I'll give you some time to breathe and then I'll move on to the next slide. So a few elements that students have mentioned about goal setting and time management. I would like to probably set this question to all the educators here. When it comes to time management, the one thing that usually students fail at, and I'm sure some of us also have failed at, is to probably create a timetable that works throughout the academic year, right? So students need to create macro and micro plans. The macro plan should be adaptive to the school curriculum. It has to be open to change. It has to be adaptable. And all the students have told us that major reasons we fail is because we expect this timetable to work on every day. Meaning even if I have to go to the dentist or watch a Netflix show that I was wanting to watch, my entire timetable gets skewed. So why do I even follow a timetable is a question that obviously a lot of our students were asking. So a macro and micro plan usually works out best. Do prioritize based on what areas the students are finding more challenging. And of course, creating the timetable is not a one-off event. It has to happen as often as possible. You have to go back to your timetable structures as often as possible. Also, moving on to integrated learning and active learning strategies, I will, of course, invite Meenu ma'am to discuss more in detail at the school level what we can do for students. But definitely, a few things that have worked as per students were concept mapping with peer discussions, talking to other students who are also preparing for the same. Usually, it's their best friends who are also preparing for the same. And of course, boards are very, very important. Students might not be always aware because this is one question that they keep asking us. If I'm preparing for CUET and CUET is all that is required, why do I even take the board exams? Well, the board exams will help you with tiebreakers. If you have a same score with another student applying for the same college and the same course, your board exams is what will save you. So board exams are super important. And on that note, I would like to give the stage to Ms. Meenu before I move on to the next part. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John. And before I proceed further, one thing I would like to add as far as timetable is concerned, sometimes even if we are working at the macro and the micro level, the timetable sometimes doesn't help, because if the student is not in that mindset, the mindset of the student is, oh, 6 to 7, I need to study physics, and their eyes are only on the clock, so that when it is 7 and I can leave my chair and I can just listen to music, or I can eat something so that my mom doesn't nag me again, that go back to your seat, it is not 7 yet. So I personally feel when I, after dealing with thousands of students, I feel that the daily target works best. So daily target, if I need to complete 2 chapters, I need to complete 2 chapters, 6 to 7 or 6 to 10, doesn't matter. So again, it depends on the student what works. So now, it's important for us as educators that what can we do in school, to implement the system and to support the, the student. And here I'm going to talk about certain things which I have personally used in some other context. So when we say conduct subject-specific CUET orientation for teachers, it's very, very important. Like in the past few days, I spoke to many teachers, and definitely because the guidelines have just come up and every teacher is busy right now, either in the board checking or in the board duty. So it's very, very important that as a high school teacher, whether I'm aware of, or as a principal of the school, whether I'm giving that opportunity to my teacher, she should be aware of the CUET guidelines, whichever subject the teacher is teaching, because then accordingly I can integrate it in my classes. And how can we integrate that? We will talk more in detail. And also we have to plan strategically that when to introduce CUET. So if you ask me, personally, I believe that if you introduce the orientation to CUET to grade 11, you are sorted. Because in grade 11, as it is, students feel like that I have just given 10th boards, and in grade 11, let me relax. And that relaxation doesn't have a boundary. It goes on, and they wake up only when they get 12th class first term exam, when they start getting scolding from everywhere, and then they realize, oh, I have missed the train. So it's better to prepare them, the mindset from grade 11 onwards. Because there are certain things, certain basic concepts. If they prepare in grade 11th only, grade 12 will become a cakewalk. So grade 11, they should be introduced. And as it is, I think most of the schools, they have some kind of orientation for parents also, and for students also. So when you're having parent orientation, it is highly, highly recommended that please give an orientation to the parents as well. That will save your time, energy, effort, because otherwise during PTMs, rather than discussing the class results, they will be discussing, ma'am, CUET ke liye kaise prepare karaye bacche ko, because they themselves are not aware. So if you give them an orientation in 11th itself, then at least they can look after or monitor the student at home, and you will not have individual questions every second day. So that is going to make your life much, much easier. Secondly, if you, suppose if your class 12th has already come, then in the beginning of the session only, give an orientation to the parents, and the teacher who is taking a subject, before you start the new academic session, just tell the students that what all is covered up in this particular subject, what kind of questions come, what is the format of the question paper of CUET. Okay. I have just taken one example coming from the psychology background. I can see smile on many faces because I am sure they are teaching psychology. So I have just taken one example here. This is the format of the CUET 2025 also. So I'm sure every subject will have a different kind of format. Like I heard that, in economics, there are some reasoning and assertion questions. In psychology, this is there. Match the following, rearrange in the serial order. So match the following is like, on one side, everybody knows. So we have theories of intelligence, theories of personality. So based on that, there can be match the following. It can be put in the serial order, like, for example, PASS model, whoever is a psychology person here. MCQs, fact-based. One particular theory given by whom? As basic as that. And 2 case studies. This is very interesting. So this is something, which we need to prepare our students. Although in psychology paper also, CBSE board also, now they have started giving case studies. So something related to that. Peer learning. I would like to focus now this, because this is very, very interesting. Now, peer learning, what I mean to say, so, we as teachers, the teacher always finds it a problem sometimes that how to integrate with the school system, because as it is, there is so much to cover, unit test and checking of the papers and all that. So we can apply some simple techniques in the sense that if I divide the entire chapter into different units. Now, in any class, there are 30 students, 35 students, divide them into groups. So if I divide the entire chapter into, say, 10 units, 10 small units, and I divide the entire class into different groups, say group of 3, there are 33 students. I'm taking simple maths because so that I should not do anything wrong in calculation, right? So suppose if I have groups of 3 students, then give 1 unit to these 3 students and tell them to prepare the MCQs, match the following, or whatever format I discussed. Whatever format is applicable to that particular subject. Students are more than happy to do something extra. And sometimes they make more difficult questions because the whole class is going to, follow that. So 10 students, the entire class is working on 1 chapter, and after 2 days, you will have all the questions related to CUET according to the format in front of you. So as a teacher, my work lessens, and I can easily integrate. So, towards the end, I can compile all the questions and I can use it as my resource material. I can upload it on my website, or I can email it to students by compiling. So like this, for all the chapters, you will have your sample papers ready with you. And also, we can also plan to have 1 mock test, maybe once a month, towards the end. So we can decide that, okay, every second Saturday, if the Saturdays are open, or every second Monday, whatever you can, decide about that, we will have a mock test. And out of these questions, only give them. That's okay. They have 100 questions and you're going to test them only on 20. That's perfectly fine. At least those questions will be prepared. Another thing which can be done, which sometimes I used to do, that as soon as I enter the class, I'm going to ask you 1 question. So I don't need to even tell them, keep quiet because I have come. But as soon as I enter, they know ma'am is going to ask me, ask the entire class a question. So they themselves will be quiet. They will wait for that 1 MCQ, 1 question, and maybe I give them a toffee. They're more than happy, to receive that toffee also. Or weekly, we can have on the notice board, most of the classes have a soft board. We can have that every Wednesday, some quiz will be posted on that soft board. And then you can have your own reward system. Students just, enjoy, competing in this friendly manner. So that can be done. So, weekly CUET style quizzes can be done. If some students, sometimes students come up, ma'am, I can make all this quiz online. Let them make, so that they learn something. And the best way to learn is when they teach each other. That is the best. And I think that is the next one. So it happens that in a class, some students who are always ready with the answers, and there are always some who always need a support. So you can create, and I have tried this, you can create a system that maybe on a certain day, they can stay back maybe for half an hour, or in their substitution period, maybe, they can make a group And I know that I'm very good with, say, intelligence chapter, and this student needs help, so I can teach. So as a student, if I teach the other person, I always remember in the best possible way. All of us are aware of it. It's just a matter of giving them this idea that this will work. So they don't need to revise, because when they are teaching the other student, they are revising on their own. And that student, when he studies, he goes back and studies the same chapter, it is much faster, because he already has an orientation to this chapter. So these are certain little things, which we can work around, and which works in the best possible way in interest of the student. As far as the teacher community is concerned, here I would like to emphasize that I'm sure that all the teachers have their own WhatsApp groups, and suppose if my school has prepared for some questions, other schools have also prepared, we can always collaborate and we can exchange these sample papers so that I can perform more in that stipulated time which is given to me in the school. I can increase, I can amplify my work with my students. So, that can also, if we work as a collaborative effort, that works best. And of course, we can also, we have to keep our ears and eyes open, that some students will be there who will always be having some kind of stress issues, or they are not able to cope up, maybe a student with especially the learning difficulty. So for them, we can organize some counseling sessions. Also, if you can invite the alumni, the students who have already gone through CUET, they have got a good score. So maybe they can come back and talk to your students in any substitution period. If we know that one teacher is not going to come next week, we can use that period with that particular alumni, who can give an orientation to the students that what is CUET is all about. There's nothing to worry. There's nothing to, be scared of, that what if I not get through CUET. And last but not the least, very, very important, that a student should know that there is no replacement for the board exam. Because I hear many students saying that why should I study, as John was also discussing. So we need to reiterate these facts. There are certain things which we need to keep on repeating in front of the students, because they are students, they have a lot of distractions around them. So we need to, give this information to them on and off. I think I have covered all the points. Yes. Now, this is the time for question and answer. I would like to invite John and Ojasvi also on the stage.
Hello. Thank you so much, Meenu, and thank you everyone for this wonderful session. Perhaps what I really didn't understand very clearly was the negative marking when you said no, कि एक mark ही तो है, attempt कर लो. So could you just explain that bit again about the negative marking?
So ma'am, this was a personal experience thing. A lot of times students tend to do the questions, सारे questions, कि क्या पता सही ही हो जाए. I'm only losing 1 mark, but अगर सही हो गया तो I'm getting 5 marks. But what they fail to understand is that they're technically losing 6 marks out of the total.
Okay, so 5 marks they lose
for the question. The 5 mark तो question का है ना, तो वो तो
and
नहीं
1
मिलेगा.
for attempting.
Additionally, yes. So the -1 is additional negative. मतलब और आप एक और lose कर देंगे. 5 तो जो question का वो तो नहीं मिल रहा.
Got it.
So total में से they lose 6. So that's what I try to explain to students. That's what.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, madam. The universities list mentioned here is very less compared to the big, all the states in India if I compare. So what is the possibility of other universities joining? Any idea about this?
Sir, there are more than 100 universities currently under CUET as well, private, government, state level, all. And NTA website पर आपको participating university, initially we had first screen पे, there were some links that were shared. NTA अलग से एक section है जहाँ पर participating university list available है. More than 100 universities are there, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Can I just ask my question? These days, we are promoting artificial intelligence as a subject in class 12, but I could not see it under any domains. So if a child has chosen for artificial intelligence, is not eligible for any of those mentioned courses, or those were not part of your comprehensive list?
No, this list has all the subjects that are under CUET. The 23 domains are the subjects that CUET is offering. Artificial intelligence के बाद के अलावा student would have other subjects as well, right?
Okay.
So then they can maybe pick one out of the 23 that are available here.
All
The student will still be, let's say if they want to do a BTech computer science with artificial intelligence as a specialization, if any university is offering that through CUET, they'd be able to do that based on eligibility, let's say with just physics, chemistry, maths, they can give that exam as well.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Can I ask my
Yes.
question now? Good morning. My name is Nupur Matra. I am from Ashok Memorial Public School, Faridabad. Children who are applying through ECA quota, so what is benefit for them in CUET? Is there any benefit for them? ECA quota and CUET.
So ma'am, as CUET is just an entrance test, it does not guarantee any seats. So ECA will come when there is a talk about number of seats, how many seats, this and that. That's why PWD, because they require specific, there are certain requirements when they go and sit for the exam. But all the others will be university specific, कि university के requirements के हिसाब से it will run. Because CUET, like I said, it doesn't guarantee seats, it's just an exam. So
it will be CUET plus ECA score at the university.
Well, I am Priyanka Savaria from SKV number 2 Madhepur. I am an EVGC counselor. And my question is, how many universities and courses can a student apply for this time? Is there any limit?
no limit.
No limit.
लास्ट ईयर तक CUET का जब आप फॉर्म अप्लाई करते थे उसी के अंडर आपको यूनिवर्सिटी सिलेक्ट करनी होती थी. इस साल वो नहीं है. आप सिर्फ सब्जेक्ट सिलेक्ट कर रहे हैं तो यूनिवर्सिटी आप इंडिपेंडेंटली जितनी मर्जी अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. फॉर्म में यूनिवर्सिटी सिलेक्शन का ऑप्शन नहीं है. सॉरी मैम.
Yeah, ma'am, my question is like, as you said, CUET is not giving the guarantee for the seat of any university. So if the child is not giving CUET, can the child apply directly to the universities as per their requirement?
So private universities, maybe they can apply, you know.
But ma'am, like
So private
in
universities, if they are not taking CUET, then they can apply. But if a university has a CUET requirement, then they have to give CUET.
okay, so if in both ways they have to give CUET, and individually also they have to find the criteria.
Yeah, certain private universities don't take CUET, they have their own entrance exam.
Okay.
So-
Ma'am, but apart from private one, those who are under CUET, for that only CUET is enough. They don't need to go for individual requirements of the university.
We have to see the university.
Okay.
So if even if the participating university is there, even if they are taking CUET, there are some universities who ask for the individual exam also, like especially if you are applying for design course, for example.
So they have to give both.
Yes.
CUET
Then-
as well as the individual one.
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
If I may, please. Ma'am, so to add on to what you've said, so under CUET, if you are if the university, like we were talking about example of Jamia, there are certain language courses that Jamia accepts CUET scores of for those particular courses. But if let's say for psychology Jamia has its own entrance, then you only need to give the Jamia entrance, no CUET then. अगर आप सिर्फ Jamia में apply कर रहे हैं तो of course. जैसे सिमिलरली DU के बाकी सारे कोर्सेज आर अंडर CUET, बट अगर आप DU से लॉ पढ़ना चाहते हैं, यू ओनली नीड टू गिव CLAT, देन इन दैट केस यू डोंट नीड CUET फॉर DU specifically. So course to course varies.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. It's a very simple query. You just mentioned on one of the slides, Ojasvi's slide, CSAS. What is that and what's its relevance there? Thank you.
So ma'am, like I said that CUET देने के बाद you have to go to specific university websites to apply for their admission process. So CSAS is DU's counseling portal. So with your CUET and 12th grade, you need to apply there, and then you will be eligible to go for sit for the Delhi University colleges. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Jai Hind everyone, Anshu here from Sunbeam Group from Varanasi. Ma'am, from last 2 years, we are seeing the result of general aptitude test, where we have find it out that the students are not performing well. So what the necessary steps we need to take? Because they don't want to do the practice at the same time with the regular courses happening in the classroom. So how we are going to cope up with this thing, ma'am?
So I think, like the way I was discussing, maybe we can make it a part of the class discussion also. See, it's very simple. Students, if you tell them, even if somebody tells us, that you have to study this, then it becomes like a punishment, a separate effort which they need to take up. But if we just include it in our classroom situation that, maybe morning 10 minutes, we are discussing some current affairs, or every day, 2 students are discussing one current affair. They come prepared, to have a discussion in the classroom situation. So I'm sure that every school has some CTIP period, class teachers interactive period. So in that, we can make it a practice that we discuss the current affairs maybe for 10 minutes. So then it's a part of the system. Then they don't need to sit down and prepare for GATP. This is what I feel. Would you like to add?
Yeah. So to add, every single student we spoke to who did well did prepare both together, and they took their time to prepare. There's only a few privileged students who remember stuff with photographic memory. So hence we always tell them that take your time to prepare, and it is going to be a struggle, but that's really preparing you for college. So you got to learn how to figure out multiple learning structures. It's part and parcel of your growing up. So that's what we usually tell students. We don't want them to take shortcuts. So which is why we tell them this is what life is going to be. This is what we call as a new normal. So I hope we've been able to answer your question.
Good morning, ma'am. First of all, thank you for a wonderful session. I have a very common question, like you all discussed, that many students come up and say, why do we prepare for the board exam when there's CUET? And as it is November, December, they're preparing for CLAT, January onwards, they're doing CUET. Then whenever they come with this question, even we are in a fix. So can you please throw some light there? Apart from the tiebreaker thing that you discussed, how do we address to that question?
So ma'am, as I said that, it depends that when are you going to introduce CUET to the students and the parents. So the best is that you introduce it in the beginning of the session, so that they are in a mindset that this entire year, it is not only boards, side by side, the preparation will just go on. So that you are not, specially taking out time to prepare for CUET.
No, I understood that. We say the same thing to the parents, but what they say is that admissions would be based on CUET score. Then why do they study for?
That's why I'm saying orientation in the beginning, because suppose if 2 students have the same CUET score, then board score is the only tiebreaker. So in any case, they have to study in the board exam. And also another point is, whichever course you go after undergrad also, there are these marks of 10th, 12th, they go long way. So wherever you apply for postgrad also, these scores will be taken. So maybe not taken for CUET or Central University, but when you go for your PG, or if you are applying to some other university also where CUET is not mandatory, then they will look at the board scores. Maybe some scholarships are based on the board scores. So once we establish the significance of the board exam like this, I think then there will be no problem. So tell them that only CUET is not the criteria.
Right. Thank you.
Just to add, I think this is a common question, and I couldn't stop myself to not come here and kind of share just one line of thought. I think one of the biggest thing that we have personally seen, or I have personally seen, is that students don't plan on what course, what career, what course, what college. Right? The process has reversed. Previously, the thought was, I want to go into LSR, was the thought, and then used to think what entrance exam and whatever course I want to get into LSR. But especially with CUET and then multiple entrance exam coupled with your board exam pressure, it has to be reversed, right? Because until you don't know which career pathway largely, and then for that, which are my main course, backup course, and then basis that which are the top 5 or 8 universities or colleges I'm aiming for, you can't know which all subjects you have to take and which all subjects you have to appear for. It makes student life much easier if you know that at least probably by end of 10th, because then you will choose your subjects in 11th accordingly as well. So that reversal has to happen, that you have to first think and plan on the career, course and the probable university, and keep a more broader, kind of an options open for yourself as students, and not just restrict to one particular course and 3 or 4 university. That kind of planning which used to work probably 5 years or 10 years back wouldn't work today. you will be in more, troubled time, and especially when we hate to see students between April to August, wherein they come in and they have not selected the subjects, or they have not have had the subject because they were not aware that this was a subject I had to take up for a particular course in university. So that planning is much more required now to make your life easy and to plan easy. The cumbersome process of, like you said, CLAT and then CUET, maybe you don't need to give CUET. If you are only focused on law, you just give CLAT, right? Why you want to pressurize yourself on both the things? But the point is that students are not clear till even 12th board exam, or even till May or 12th result. I'll see what I'll want to do after the 12th result. So that the more delay it goes in, the more cumbersome it becomes and more problematic in terms of what exam, more exam has to be given. So I think that planning much earlier in life would which will make your life easier as students in terms of giving lesser number of exams, lesser number of subjects, or knowing what subject to prepare for. Otherwise, I'll keep my option broad open. Why? Because I don't know what course, what college, what career I want to get into, and I prepare for everything. I'll give CLAT as well, I'll give CUET as well, I'll give JEE as well, I'll give every damn exam because I don't know. I'll wait for the result and then decide where I can get into. So over there, one has to prepare. Now the time is wherein you have to prepare. I mean, there's no other option. If you want to really, and better planned student in this way, we have seen succeed in them better because they have lesser workload, from the point of subjects to choose, from the point of exams to take. So, this is a pain point, CUET board exam, CUET school. This is what it is, right? So I request all to avoid that question again. We have answered it once and for all, and this is the most we can do. Let's restrict ourselves into the technical question because we'll go round and round on CUET and board exam. So thank you. This is what it is. Yeah, thank you.
Very good morning.
And plus the syllabus is same.
Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am, good morning. My question is that, madam, is there section 1 and section 3 mandatory for any admission in any university in any course? Mandatory for student to take language section or general aptitude?
No, sir. No, not this year.
For some university it is mandatory, for some university it is not mandatory.
Depends on university and also courses as well. Matlab, a lot of courses you will see where general aptitude is not required, languages. Whereas in a lot of universities, you'll see that even language is not required, only general aptitude will do.
So first we have to choose the university, then what is the requirement to take admission in that course? Yes. We have to select that first and then to appear in the exam.
Yes, university and course list has to be ready first, which universities, which courses. Then you see what subjects the university is requiring for such courses and shortlist from there.
तो मैम एक और सजेशन है इसके लिए कि कम से कम ये CUET में जब एग्जाम में अपीयर हो जाए तो आपकी जो यूनिवर्सिटीज़ के अंडर आती हैं तो उसके लिए आप प्रायोरिटाइज कर दीजिए कि भाई इसमें आपका एडमिशन इस रैंकिंग में हो सकता है. ये अलग से सेपरेट करना फॉर स्पेशली फॉर द गवर्नमेंट स्कूल स्टूडेंट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट. फर्स्ट टू क्लियर दिस CUET, देन चूज द यूनिवर्सिटी, देन चूज द कोर्स. मीन्स if you link up these all the university with your CUET, that will be more beneficial for us.
Sure, sir. CBSE is working on releasing a lot of material, and this point is taken, and we can release one booklet around the CUET combination itself, at least on the top 50-60 university that are taking CUET for that matter. Like what we have shown example for 7, maybe we can include 50-70 and release a booklet around it, and can be updated every year because this change every year. Thank you.
Hello.
Who has the mic?
Hello, very good morning. This side?
Yeah.
Yes. Satvir Singh from SS Boarding School, District Kurukshetra. I want to add one thing with Mr. Simi's question regarding GAT. Madam, from last year, we have conducted a session including 9th, 10th, plus 1, plus 2 students as well as parents. Not keeping in mind this one UCT, also other exams also. हमने क्या किया मैडम, बच्चों को एक फोकस किया ओनली GAT एग्जाम के लिए कि दिस इज द सीन, हु हैव द इंटरेस्ट जॉइन द क्लासेस. On second Saturday, on Sunday, we have conducted these classes. So till 9, 10, plus 1, plus 2 बच्चे के दिमाग में क्लियर हो गया था कि मैं किस एग्जाम में जा सकता हूँ. Whether they are interested in CLAT, whether an exam this one IAPM exam for Indore, whether the exam for ND exam, whether the interest for UCT. So I think if all the principal can take this initiative by doing the seminars for 9, 10, plus 1, plus 2 students, and also the side by side coaching, I think very much clear even for the regular syllabus as well for the GAT exams.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your practice. Yeah.
So I don't have a question. I basically would like to add on to the one of the question that is being asked. Why board? When student comes to us and they ask why board is important over CUET. So to answer that, you can guide your students with respect to that. Last year there is one of the IIM Simor. So they started their first batch of Bachelors of Management Studies. So there was one of our students who did not perform well in CUET and could not make out to the SRCC or LSR. And for that reason, she chose IIM Simor on the basis of her merit. Again, for the science students, you can guide them that IITs, along with IITs, we also have triple ITs, where the seats are reserved for the students who prefer or who get a good merit in the class 12th examination, or who appeared with a good results in the Olympiads. So that's how the boards are important, and they can give you a preference or a privilege over the CUET scores.
Very valid point, and this will be the last perspective on board and CUET. We will probably have evening chai or dinner even if we keep on discussing this. I know this is the most, probably the biggest pain point among a lot of educators, and especially from schools. So thank you, but that's helpful.
Thank you.
Where is the mic? Yeah, please.
This is also a board question actually, but could you please just take this one?
Sorry, come again?
This is also a board question.
Please go on. If it's not board and school wala query, then we will take it up.
So basically, if a student has cleared the CUET entrance exam for a particular subject, but then for some reason they are not able to do very well or like get very less marks in their board exams, and that low marks do not match with the eligibility criteria of that particular university, would they still qualify?
So again, it depends on the university, what they are looking for. If they are focusing only on CUET, or they are combining CUET plus the board exam. So it all again depends on the university requirement.
Right, but is there some minimum score that we could keep in mind for the students?
It all depends on the university. Generally, it is 50%, but it all depends on the university. It all depends on the university. There is no hard and fast rule. And just going back to one question which was asked there, I will say that many a times students feel that okay, let me get the CUET score, and then accordingly I will apply to the universities wherever I can apply. So we have to tell them to reverse the process, that first decide about the university and course, and then decide the subjects about for CUET. Generally students go the other way around, that जितना CUET में score आएगा उसके हिसाब से हम university में apply करेंगे.
Seema Khanna from Dean Platinum Valley International School, Ghaziabad. So I would like to add one thing only, that regarding the entrance test and preparation for any of the entrance examination, there is one government portal, that is Sarthi. Last year, government has launched this portal, and students are taking very much good benefit out of this portal. That is completely free of cost, and students can take help out of that portal for their preparation exams.
Thank you so much for sharing that, ma'am. So,
hello and good afternoon. My name is Amar Singh, and I'm from LDC Public School, Prayagraj. I came this morning. Had a little apprehension about what was going to happen, but now after attending the event, attending this session, I have answers to many of the questions that my students asked me. So thanks CBSE, and thanks the organizing committee. Thank you so much.
Very good afternoon. I'm so happy to be a part of the CBSE session, because we generally don't. Sorry, my name is Bijoy, by the way. I'm from Muscat. I work for a school called Indian School Al Gubra, and working as a school psychologist in general. So taking care of classes from 6 to 12. We generally don't really get sessions back in Muscat or in foreign countries in general, especially regarding the entrance coachings, and also when we got an opportunity, we were happy to be a part of it. Really appreciating the sincere and very informative session. Thank you to Ojasvi ma'am, Meenu ma'am, and Thomas sir. And looking forward to the same sessions regularly whenever there's a possibility. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I represent Air Force Golden Jubilee Institute, New Delhi. Thank you to CBSE and Meenu ma'am and the entire team. Meenu ma'am is someone I have known before also, for this such an enlightening workshop. I'm sure all of us have got a lot of food for thought, and we'll carry back a lot of information from here and impart to our parents and teachers. When this building was being made, I used to wonder whether I'll be able to come here because I stay right across. And thank you for giving us, all of us, this opportunity. Deeply indebted and heartfelt gratitude. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Kiran Dalal. I'm the Principal Bright Scholar, Sonipat, Haryana. And it was lovely listening to such an informative session. And when it was said QAs, I think there were no questions, though many of us were asking. But everything was explained so well, and when we were going through the slides, PowerPoint presentations, most of the things were very much clear. Which subjects, which college, and how to apply application process. And truly, before coming to this work, this seminar program, whatever we call it, or orientation program, many confusions were there. When children used to come to us and parents used to come us and ask us, what is CUET? And what are the qualifications? There were many things which we did not know as principals. Although we have been going through NTA websites also, but reading yourself and then getting it explained and listening from Meenu Madam, Ojas, and everyone, it was lovely. And it was really very, very informative. Thank you so much, CBSE. Thank you, Neeti ma'am. Thank you, everyone, for this amazing session. We're very delighted, and really we are going back very well informed. Thank you so much. And I wish all the best to all the principals and CBSE. And I think now we can...
Good afternoon, one and all. My name is Akshay Kumar from Dipanshu Public School. First of all, I would like to share my experience in front of you all. First of all, I would like to thank CBSE team for sparing their valuable time, and I also want to share that I had many misconceptions regarding CUT, and the many students used to ask me, so what is the criteria, what type of questions are asked, what will the syllabus, and what will the marking scheme. And today I got an opportunity that students of my school can be benefited from this session. I would like to sincerely thank CBSE team and the host who was hosting this program so systematically and especially in a well-organized manner. Thank you, CBSE, and thank you, organizer. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, I'm Dr. Karuna Prasad. I've come all the way from Bokaro Steel City in Jharkhand. And I must say that I'm not disappointed. When CBSE says they want to build capacity, they really are building capacity, because I have so many questions, and sometimes, more often than not clear where I can get answers from. And coming here today has not been disappointing at all. I'm very clear on how to move ahead with building capacity for myself and for my teachers. As far as this program, the CUET, is concerned. So I would really like to thank CBSE. I'm so delighted to be a part of this, the integrated offices, and especially this exceptional auditorium. It's very exciting to be here. And thank you to all the 3 members on your team, ma'am, who did a marvelous job in clarifying all aspects of this presentation. Thank you so much.
And in the meanwhile, I would also like to invite principals or counselors who have come all the way from government schools. Neeti ma'am has specially requested. Anybody who would like to come, please.
Very good afternoon, everyone. We had an enriching and informative session. And I am Asha Srivastav. I am from Jaspal Kaur Public School, Shalimar Bagh. Just a thought I want to leave here, or a takeaway for me as well as for my teachers. Most of the time we come and attend workshops, and CBSE has been putting a lot of effort in doing the professional development for all the teachers and principals. But the takeaway for me is that how much we ourselves dig into the research to know what is CUET or any other thing. I think most of our teachers also get engrossed in completing the syllabus and altogether forgetting all those months that just board, it matters. So now a thought process need to change for the teachers and for us as educators, that there is something beyond classroom teaching as well. And we must keep our eyes and ears open, and we must make our teachers understand that please come out of this. Like maybe now we need to give more information to our children, because we expect at the age of 15, they decide their careers, they select their streams, and there is a lot of peer pressure, parent pressure. So as educators, the responsibility lies on us and of course our team of teachers, that we know the things better, more in details, so that we can share it with our children and parents. Thank you for giving us such a wonderful session.
Thank you, Team CBSE, for this very informative seminar on CUET. I am Love Jain from Merit. I'm a career counselor. And what I see from the student perspective in this workshop is that a lot of reforms that were expected in previous years have been done by CBSE or CUET NTA board. Now, there are a few things that I still want to highlight. One is, when we have one examination like CUET, we also have to think about private universities selling their forms parallelly for their own entrance exams. When we have to appear for multiple entrance exams, we also have to see that there is an extra burden that we are adding on to the student in spite of having one single test for these conventional programs. I think CBSE has to look forward that all the participating universities, at least those who are coming to the platform of CUET, should waive off the application fee for the students, those who are actually, going with this menace of adding continuous fee to the, their prerogative towards, appearing for multiple examinations. Thank you so much, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm Seethong Kamphantong from Neera High School, Patna. And Patna being a very small town, a small city, the challenges that we face there are that students usually they focus more on JEE and NEET, just on medical and engineering entrance examinations. And we weren't quite aware about CUET. So this session that CBSE has provided, it gave us a lot of insight. And our school is going back with a lot of knowledge from here, and we will guide our students to, opt for different streams, just not being more focused on engineering and medical. There are other things as well to be taught and studied. So again, thank you so much. The information, the hosts that conducted the session was really informative, and thank you so much. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am J.K. Agarwal, Principal Doon Public School, Hathras, and also doing as District Training Coordinator. And it was really a pleasure because, you have been always guiding teachers and other staff and students for trainings. So, because CUET is quite new, so it was really a comprehensive program and we could know so many things about it. And many thanks to CBSE and I Dream Career also. Thank you so much, team. Thank you, everyone.
All right, we'll have ma'am as the last person to share her experience, please.
So, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Priyanka Tomar from Birla Public School, Pilani. First of all, I would like to thank CBSE and, of course, my school management for giving me this opportunity. Regarding Meenu ma'am, she is legendary, I would say. The session was very informative, enriching, and, of course, enlightening. So everyone knows that she has a huge experience and expertise in this field. And thank you so much, ma'am. It's a pleasure to attend this session.
All right, so that brings us to the end of the session. It's important that we thank all the participants and dignitaries present with us. While we conclude today's insightful and enriching session, firstly, on behalf of the organizing team, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our experts, Meenu Arora, Ojaswi, and Thomas John for sharing their deep knowledge, practical strategies, and the forward-looking perspectives on CUET. I would request a huge round of applause for all three of them, please. Also, a sincere thank you to all the CBSE dignitaries, Honorable Chairman Sir, Honorable Secretary Sir, all the directors who were here present today, added their grace and value to this gathering. To all the respected principals and counselors who joined us today, thank you for your commitment to guiding students and for being a part of this meaningful exchange. I would also like to take a moment to acknowledge all the efforts of our support staff and the organizing team behind the scenes. Your hard work and dedication has actually made this event smooth, successful, and impactful. And finally, a huge round of applause to our wonderful audience. Thank you for your enthusiastic participation, thoughtful questions, and engaging presence. Thank you once again, and looking forward to many such collaborative experiences in the future. Have a great, great afternoon. Thank you.